The film begins with Mykola, a pacifist hippie Ukrainian math teacher who lives quietly with his beloved wife Nastia in a tiny village in Ukraine. They are an environmentally conscious couple, which is why their home lacks modern luxuries like a television and a radio. Mykola rides his bicycle to a nearby school every day, while his wife spends her time at home making lovely wooden angels. When Mykola arrives at school one day, he discovers from the television news that Russian special forces have seized control of the whole Crimea Peninsula, causing widespread protests throughout Kiev, and that Ukraine's president has fled to Russia. Despite this alarming news, Mykola resumes his usual teaching routine and begins teaching his students about speed, distance, and time. However, during class, a disruptive student named Ivan interrupts the lesson by throwing wet paper balls at the blackboard. Instead of scolding him, Mykola approaches him calmly and instructs him to do it again. Ivan probably uses his joker skill again, and Mykola calculates the time it takes for the paper ball to strike the chalkboard, using it as a practical example to teach the notion of speed and time to the whole class. Mykola then calls Ivan to help him solve a problem on the chalkboard. However, Ivan reacts by drawing an improper image to anger Mykola. Rather than becoming enraged, Mykola hilariously admits that it is the source of Ivan's preoccupation, leading the entire class to laugh. After school, Ivan cautions Mykola not to mess with him before leaving. The next day, when Mykola rides to school, he observes some army men but pays them little regard. However, when he arrives at the school, he discovers it is absolutely vacant. He is perplexed as to where everyone has gone until he sees the news on TV, which reveals that the Russian army has invaded Ukraine's Donbass region. It dawns on him that the soldiers he saw on the road were indeed Russian. Mykola promptly returns home on his bicycle because his wife is alone there. But by the time he comes, it is too late. The Russians have already arrived at his home and are beating his wife. When Mykola attempts to save her, they begin hitting him as well. Mykola begs them to leave his wife, who is pregnant, but one of the soldiers enters their home and sets it on fire before they depart. Nastia, angered by the sight of her burning house, picks up a stone to throw at the Russian soldiers, only to be shot down in front of Mykola's eyes. His life has abruptly transformed. He is clutching his deceased wife in his arms, overcome with sadness over the loss of the lady he loved above all else. The next day, 2 Ukrainian soldiers arrive and discover Mykola clutching his deceased wife. After ascertaining that he is Ukrainian, they help him bury her. After that, Mykola walks to his burned-down house and discovers a wooden angel carved by his wife. Afterwards, the Ukrainian forces transport him to their base. He demands the commanding officer to let him join the army, driven by a strong desire for vengeance. The officer, seeing determination in his eyes, agrees to recruit him, and his training begins the next day. Mykola first meets difficulties with even the most basic tasks, such as assembling and dismantling an AK-47, but with hard effort and dedication, he gradually improves his abilities. One day, the commander warns them that they are short on snipers and begs volunteers to stand up. Only a few volunteers, including Mykola, stand up, causing everyone to laugh at him. Undeterred, Mykola declares his intention to become a sniper and begs to be known by the codename Raven. The commander informs him that codenames are earned rather than given, and he challenges Mykola's eligibility in light of his previous problems with basic tasks. Mykola, on the other hand, boasts that he can assemble and disassemble an AK-47 in less than 20 seconds. The commander instructs him to demonstrate it, and place the cherry on top. Mykola even blindfolds himself. Everyone thinks he can't accomplish it, but to their amazement, Mykola completes the task in under 18 seconds, garnering acclaim from all around. Following this, his sniper training begins in earnest, and he devotes himself entirely to mastering the skills. However, after the theory days, while everyone else receives SVD sniper rifles, Mykola is given an SKS weapon. Disappointed by the obvious discrimination, Mykola asks an SVD from his superior, only to be screamed at and told he must first show himself worthy. Mykola goes away, disillusioned, but continues to train with the SKS. During daytime training sessions, snipers take up positions while the trainer fires from behind. Any sniper who flinches after a gunshot is instantly removed from the training, as snipers must remain still to avoid discovery. However, when the trainer fires close to Mikola, he remains perfectly solid and amazed. The trainer blindfolds Mikola and asks him to take a shot, but Mikola misses his target by a large margin. He blames his rifle for the incident, but the trainer informs him that it has previously occurred with the same firearm. Despite this setback, Mikola excels in the theoretical portions of the program, exceeding his superior and drawing on his skills as a mathematics instructor. Later that night, all of the snipers participate in a night shooting test in which they must shoot at targets illuminated by the trainer's flare. Everyone save Mikola fires their bullets as the flare goes off, but Mikola waits until darkness falls before shooting, depending only on his estimate of the target's distance estimated during the flare's light. To everyone's surprise, his shot lands on target with exquisite accuracy, earning him 3 bonus points from the pleased trainer. After several weeks of intense training, the findings come in, and Mikola is classified as a first-class sniper with the code name Raven, much to his joy. Raven is then summoned for his first operation, which involves liberating a Russian-controlled roadblock alongside his teammates. When they arrive at the spot, they take up their positions and set their targets. However, before they can shoot, they notice a civilian vehicle coming. The colonel instructs them to cease fire, but when the Russians begin beating the civilian couple, the snipers respond and kill their targets. However, the last soldier kidnaps the woman behind a car, but his head is clearly visible through the window, and the colonel fires a shot, killing him as well. The colonel congratulates Raven on his first successful mission, and the other soldiers proceed to remove the Russian flag from the checkpoint and replace it with the Ukrainian flag before returning to base. Raven arrives at the headquarters and discovers that his friends have left for another assignment. Unfortunately, the following day, only their lifeless remains returned to the base. They were all slain by a single man named Sherry, Russia's most lethal sniper, who even posts footage of his kills to demoralize the enemy. Raven is enraged by this news and resolves to seek vengeance. A few days later, Raven and his companions set out on their next operation in the woods, anticipating the passage of Russian army men. They create traps along the way and lie down in their ghillie suits, waiting for their targets. They soon notice Russian soldiers through their scopes, and Raven is surprised to find his former student, Ivan, among them. Raven, unwillingly following the colonel's orders, detonates the device by shooting a tree, effectively killing all of the Russian soldiers. When the colonel returns to base, he takes a moment to smoke a cigarette and look at a picture of his family. Raven suddenly enters the room and inquires about the photograph. The colonel admits that it is his family, and his daughters believe he is on a business trip since he and his wife have chosen not to reveal his true career to them in order for them to sleep easier. The colonel also observes a wooden angel in Raven's possession and inquires whether it is his amulet. Raven responds, adding, "This is my family." The next day, they carry out their next mission near a Russian military facility, lying on the ground at a distance and observing. Raven sees the 2 soldiers who brutally murdered his wife. Raven loses control and begs the colonel if he may take the shot. The colonel declines, demanding they continue to observe. However, Raven, unsure whether he will get another chance to avenge his wife's murderers, begs again if he can take a shot. The colonel declines once more, but Raven's emotions take over, and he kills one soldier as the other immediately takes cover. The Russian army becomes completely alert, and the colonel is furious with Raven for risking the operation. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sherry, Russia's deadliest sniper, spots the colonel and kills him. The other Russian soldiers also began bombing the farms. Raven manages to wriggle out of their reach and returns to base, greatly repentant for his actions. Raven sets out on his next assignment alone after realizing his actions caused the colonel's death and swears vengeance against Sherry. He uncovers the location of 2 Russian snipers and kills one near a garbage with a headshot. However, the second sniper, stationed in a building, notices Raven and fires at him. Fortunately, the rookie sniper's shot only hits Raven's hand, and Raven also kills him with a headshot. Following that, Raven spent several days in his hidden lair, allowing his wound to heal before embarking on his next mission. One day, he receives a call from the brigade commander, who informs him that they have found Sherry's whereabouts and orders him to return to base. Upon arrival at the base, the commander informs everyone about Sherry. He reveals that Sherry's bullets have a long range, and that he has already eliminated 5 of Ukraine's top snipers and 3 machine gunners. Sherry posts footage of his kills online to demoralize Ukrainian forces, but this has unintentionally revealed his location, a chemical plant. One soldier advises that they blow up the entire factory, but Raven, as a senior, explains the probable environmental catastrophe. The commander then describes the plan. There are 8 militants in the plant, with 5 on the ground floors providing security and 3 strategically placed snipers on the upper floors. The Ukrainian shooters will distract the Russian snipers from a distance while the terrorists on the bottom level are eliminated, allowing Raven to infiltrate the building silently and take out the Russian snipers. The team executes their plan and takes up their positions. Raven crawls into the building and quietly kills a soldier with his suppressed gun, while the other soldier promptly surrenders, realizing his fate. However, this soldier is the one who killed Raven's wife, and Raven exacts his revenge by murdering him, therefore avenging his wife's death. Following that, the colonel orders all snipers to eliminate the remaining militants, which they do under the cover of a machine gun reenacted by a colleague to distract the opposing snipers. With the road clear, Raven infiltrates the structure. However, Sherry becomes suspicious when his teammates do not respond to his walkie-talkie call. He climbs to the roof to investigate, only to find one of his snipers dead. When he realizes the threat, he instantly phones for backup. As he returns to his position, he discovers Raven's amulet, and then Raven leaps down from above and kills Sherry with a blade. Another Russian shooter nearby detects something strange, but Raven drops a grenade before he can react, killing him as well. The base is now clear, as Sherry and the other sniper are dead. As the Russian military's backup team comes on a truck, Raven prepares himself. He shoots the driver, prompting the truck to stop and all of the soldiers exit. Unbeknownst to them, Ukrainian snipers had been waiting for this moment for their whole lives, firing down the surprised Russian soldiers and killing them all. Later, Raven walks to his wife's grave, holding the amulet, and informs her that he has exacted her revenge. The closing scene depicts Raven on another assignment, this time in snowy alpine terrain, with his amulet acting as a continual source of motivation. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.